What is Ethernet port? Works, types, pros, cons and more. An Ethernet port is a type of network interface that allows devices to connect to a local area network, LAN, using an Ethernet cable. It is a physical port on a device such as a computer, router, or switch, which enables data transmission over a wired Ethernet connection. The Ethernet port is designed to provide a reliable and fast connection between devices, making it a popular choice for high-speed internet connections, file sharing, and network gaming. There are also a few other names by which Ethernet ports are known, such as advertisements, LAN ports, LAN sockets, Ethernet jacks, Ethernet connections and network ports. The Ethernet ports serve the main purpose of connecting different hardware devices to the Ethernet LAN. Different types of Ethernet ports come with different features and functionalities. These ports transfer data according to the Ethernet protocol of the IEEE into particular units such as packet and frame. The benefits of using Ethernet ports include speed, security, reliability and data quality. The downsides of it are lack of mobility, multiple connectivity, expandability and non-deterministic service. Ethernet ports typically use RJ45 connectors and support different Ethernet standards such as 10 base T, 100 base TX, and 1000 base T, providing different levels of speed and performance. Understanding Ethernet port. The main purpose of an Ethernet port is to connect different hardware to the Ethernet LAN through the wired cables such as Local Area Network or LAN, Metropolitan Area Network or MAN and Wide Area Network or WAN. Ethernet ports have been widely used since 1990 to link computers in a LAN. The design of this port makes it accessible to multiple computers to transfer data as and when required. This easy-to-use port ensures that there is neither any confusion or error in the connection nor any collision while sending the data across different computers through the physical and encased cables. This, in turn, will reduce wait time, ensure uninterrupted data transfer, and make sure that the data is usable. The Ethernet port is the most useful connector that follows the special protocol to eliminate issues during data transfer. This protocol is called the CSMA-CD or Carrier Sense Multiple Access with Collision Detection. A better alternative to Wi-Fi, it makes a lot of sense to use Ethernet ports and cables. Check out Extending Wireless Networks. It is fast, serviceable and very convenient to use, especially for a desktop computer. If you connect to your network or use a media server, Ethernet will facilitate faster and streaming better quality videos. Ideally, Ethernet ports and cables are the best option for the gamers. It is not only easy to connect, but it will also establish a fairly solid and consistent connection to communicate by using the specific protocol or common network language. It helps in formatting and transmitting data between the devices in a network, thereby helping in receiving, recognizing and processing the same by other devices in the same campus or local network sector. Different types of Ethernet ports. Fast Ethernet. This enables data transfer at the rate of 100 megabits per second. It comes with fiber optic cable or twisted pair cable and follows the MAC or Media Access Control Protocol of CSMA-CD. It has a 10 base T cabling that enables transmission of data without any need to make changes in the apps, network software or any protocol translation. Gigabit Ethernet. This is the latest port that transfers data at a speed of 1000 megabits per second using either a fiber optic or twisted pair cable. The most popular version is the Cat5e cable that has 4 pairs of twisted wires. Switch Ethernet. This is a network switch that transfers data from one device to another within the same network but does not hinder the performance of other devices in the network. It uses star topology around the switch, a filter and a switching mechanism, just like the gateways. RJ45. This port works on a 100/1000 base switch and is used for server switching in data centers, LANs, and direct uplinks from desktop switches to broadband application. SFP. This port is also called the Mini GBIC port. This is a small and swappable interface with a data transfer speed of 1 GBit per second for Ethernet and 4 GBit per second for fiber channel SFP ports. It also helps in establishing copper uplinks in a short range and fiber uplinks within a long distance. SFP Plus. This small form factor pluggable plus port is the improved version of SFP port. It supports data transmission speed of up to 10 gigabits per second. It also accepts SFP optics but at a much lower speed of 1 gigabit per second. SFP28. This is one notch higher than the SFP Plus port. It supports transferring data at a speed of 25 gigabits per second through a single lane. This is energy efficient and provides new ways to upgrade a network to meet with the rising demands of the data center networks of the next generation. QSFP Plus. This port is the better form of quad small form factor pluggable port. It supports 40G Ethernet in 4x10G lanes. QSFP28. This is used for 100G apps and supports transfer speeds within 25 gigabits per second and 40 gigabits per second. It can also meet 100 gigabits per second speed with 4 channels of 25 gigabits per second following the 4x InfiniBand Enhanced Data Rate or EDR requirements. The Ethernet switch ports can also be differentiated on the basis of AND network architecture. For example, ports that are segregated based on its functions and applications include Combo port. This is a port that has dual front ends in a single interface such as SFP and RJ45 connectors. Stack port. This allows connecting other stackable devices of the same brand, model and software and operate like one stackable switch. PO port, short for Power over Ethernet. The PO ports allow transfer of data and power supply through a single network cable. The IEEE 802.3 AF provides power up to 15.4 watts and IEEE 802.3 AT model delivers up to 30 watts. Based on the type of the network architecture, the Ethernet ports can be classified as access port that connects different devices like desktops, laptops, and printers using an access link on virtual LAN. Trunk port, which is available in Trunk Link and allows multiple VLAN setup on one interface to carry traffic simultaneously to all, and hybrid port that connects network devices and user devices as well to support both tagged and untagged VLAN like access and trunk port to accept data from one or more than one VLANs. You can choose the most suitable Ethernet switch port type according to your network requirements, but keep in mind your current as well as future function demands and volume of business. Life expectancy of Ethernet ports. There is nothing as such called the lifespan of Ethernet ports. Ideally, these ports can last for a lifetime if these are used properly, not moved frequently and not used near hot or cold spots. Most of the time, these ports may fail due to a frayed cable. The lifespan of an Ethernet port and cable will primarily depend on the usage, environment and on the passive equipment like the connectors. If it is used in a decent setting with minimum handling, it can last more than 10 or even 20 years. As for the cable, it will also last for a lifetime. Irrespective of the quality of the Ethernet cable, both the wires and isolation are fairly stable. However, it can get damaged at the contact point of the UTP, the connector, the ends or the patch panel to the wire. This is because the metal is oxidized over time and offers resistance. If you use gold-plated ports and connectors, the copper metal inside will deteriorate slowly when the gold and nickel layers of isolation diffuses slowly through the surface and reacts with the gases in the atmosphere. Therefore, it is quite reasonable to expect the port to last physically for a long time. However, if you abuse it, it may last just for a week or even in between. How does it work? Ethernet port or socket transfers data to the different devices connected in a network according to the Ethernet protocol of the IEEE family. For example, according to this protocol, the IEEE 802.3 should touch both Layer 1 and Layer 2, which is the physical and data link layer respectively, when it is used in an OSI or Open Systems Interconnection Network practice model. The data through the Ethernet port and cable is transmitted into specific units, namely packet and frame. When data is sent in frames, it includes the payload, the physical MAC or media access control, virtual LAN, QoS or quality of service information, and error identification and rectification information. Each of these frames is sent in a packet. This contains numerous bytes of information. This information helps in establishing a connection and also in marking the starting point of the frame. The transmission of data is kept smooth and fast even if devices share a hub and send data at the same time. The chances of the packets colliding with each other and creating connectivity issues as a result are eliminated by the carrier sense multiple access with collision detection (CSMA-CD) protocol developed by the IEEE. This protocol helps in avoiding digital traffic jams and finding out whether or not a specific line is in use or free to use before any new data transmission process is initiated. The network switches send data through the input port, after which the hub copies and distributes it to other output ports that are available. This means the data traffic is sent to only those ports that are intended for a specific device. This ensures more efficiency and security in data transmission. To achieve all these benefits of connecting to Ethernet, you will simply need to use a NIC or network interface card in the involved computers, just like any other network types. The benefits: 1. Speed. If you are a gamer, then using these ports and cables will help you to avoid the bottleneck of broadband and achieve a higher speed, anywhere between 100 megabits per second and 1000 megabits per second, to download, stream, or play games online. 2. Delay. Latency is another thing you can avoid through Ethernet cables and ports. It will reduce the wait time to get data transferred from one device to another destination with pretty quick response from the server. This ping can be a serious issue when you are playing games online. 3. Reliability. Ethernet connection is preferred over Wi-Fi because it is more reliable. The connection is stable and you can play your game uninterruptedly. You can stream HD videos or download large files quickly and smoothly. 4. Security. Being attached physically to other devices, these ports ensure security of data during transmission, a crucial need for multinational companies and big businesses. There is ideally no need for data encryption. 5. Efficiency. These ports are most power efficient. The Cat6 Ethernet will consume far less power than a Wi-Fi connection, making it more cost-effective as well. 6. Architecture. These ports have a very easy-to-use architecture that does not require any hubs or switches, have nodes of the same privilege, and not have to follow the server-client architecture. It is easy to maintain and administer. 7. Quality of data. The cables, being strong and not affected by noise, does not degrade the quality of data during transmission. The drawbacks. 8. Mobility. Due to the physical limitations, mobility can be an issue while using Ethernet, unlike a Wi-Fi connection. Therefore, it is best to use in desktop computers. 9. Expandability. You will need to spend a few more dollars to buy additional components such as switches, routers, and several meters of cable if you wish to expand your existing network. This will also take some extra time to rewire all the devices. 10. Installation. These connections are not meant for DIY installation. You will need assistance if you have to drill areas separately in a specific location and attach the different wires and switches to several computers. 11. Connections. You cannot connect to multiple devices with these wired switches at a given time. You will need more cables to do so. 12. Service. The non-deterministic service of these ports will not allow real-time applications. Priority for data packets cannot be set, and there is a minimum size of frame required for a successful data transmission. Therefore, for interactive applications, you will have to create dummy data and feed to the frame to meet the mandatory size of 46 gigabytes. 13. Suitability. Ethernet is not suitable to use for applications that are traffic-intensive because the efficiency will go down. It is only suitable for a particular network to establish connectionless communication. 14. Troubleshooting. It is difficult to identify the specific device and troubleshoot if you do not receive any acknowledgement of the receiver whom you delivered a data packet over the network. It is also difficult to identify which node or cable in the network is creating the actual problem and fix it. What does an Ethernet port do? The basic purpose of an Ethernet port is to establish a connection between different devices in a network setting. This is done through a physical cable that helps in faster and smoother transmission of data. How do you find your Ethernet port? Look for a socket that has it written on it. It can be at the front or back side of a desktop CPU or at the side of a laptop. You can also open the text field by pressing the Windows Start key. Type cmd.x there and hit Enter. This will open a command prompt. Type ipconfig and press Enter. The result will show Ethernet adapter local area connection. If it shows media disconnected, it means that it has an Ethernet port but nothing is connected to it yet. Is Wi-Fi or Ethernet faster? Though there are different standards and norms of each of these two types of connectivity options, Ethernet connection is faster and more secure than Wi-Fi. Ethernet connections will be more stable and can even reach data transfer speeds of 40 GB per second, as in Cat.8 Ethernet. Is an Ethernet port the same as a LAN port? No. The main difference is that Ethernet establishes a network which is much smaller in scale than the private LAN. The topologies also differ. In Ethernet there is a bus and star, but in LAN there are bus, star, ring, mesh and others. LAN is centralized and transmits data even when the path is occupied. Most importantly, Ethernet is wired, but LAN can be both wired and wireless. How do you know if your Ethernet port is enabled? You can check the managed switch that may or may not be marked with an IP. You can use an advanced IP scanner V2 to find the IP. Once done, identify the ports and the outlets of each. You can use a router with a connection indicator LED to identify whether the port is active. Do all laptops have Ethernet ports? Mostly yes, but it is still advisable that you check the manual and specifications because there are several manufacturers that do not include an Ethernet port in their product. Do you need a modem if you have an Ethernet port? No, you will not need a modem of your own, provided whoever you are sharing the internet connection with, university, hotel or any other, has it installed already. If you have internet connection from an ISP, you will need a modem. However, it is always recommended that you use a router to split one connection into many. Summing it up, an Ethernet port is a physical port on a device that allows for a reliable and fast connection between devices, making it a popular choice for high-speed internet connections, file sharing, and network gaming. Ethernet ports are also known as LAN ports, LAN sockets, Ethernet jacks, Ethernet connections, and network ports. Different types of Ethernet ports come with different features and functionalities, such as Fast Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet, Switch Ethernet, RJ45, SFP, SFP+, SFP28, and QSFP+. While there are downsides to Ethernet ports such as lack of mobility, multiple connectivity, expandability, and non-deterministic service, the benefits of using Ethernet ports include speed, security, reliability, and data quality. Overall, Ethernet ports and cables are the best option for gamers and those who connect to their network or use a media server, as it facilitates faster and better quality data transfer.